Hello guys and welcome back. In today's video we will be going over underrated hero from each faction. So first underrated hero will be here, and it will not be any legendary, it will be epic one, and that is Synnove. So what is so special about Synnove? First of all, she once she is E2 she is immune to freeze, and she gains 20% turn meter whenever her speed is reduced or she is inflicted with freeze. So that's really good. But let's look at her skills. So her basic is deals 160 attack damage to single enemy with a 30% when upgraded to 50% chance to reduce their speed by 20% for 2 turns, and restores the allies 3% of max HP. So it's a little bit of healing and speed down. Then first active skill restores HP and increases turn meter, and once she is E1 she will also be putting shield. So this I mean it is a small version, like only 10% and only 15% shield, and restores 10% of max HP, but at least it's something. Then her passive Synnove is immune to speed down. There is 30% chance to inflict freeze on the enemy target for 1 turn instead of reducing their speed when Synnove deals direct damage to targets under the speed down stat. So let's say you inflict, like you're using another hero to inflict speed down on everyone, and then when Synnove uses, let's say, her ultimate, she will be reducing their speed by 40%. And what will happen is that because they're already under speed down status, she will freeze them instead. So like if you don't have Santa, for example, you can use another hero to put like speed down on everyone, and then use Synnove to like freeze them with this. And then her ultimate deals attack damage to all enemies with 50% chance to reduce their speed by 40%, and then exclusive level 3 additionally reduces all enemies turn meters by 15%. So she is great both PvE and PvP, but like she's more of a PvE unit because of that speed down. So it can be really useful. Obviously if you have Santa you don't need Synnove, but like if you're early game or mid game you will find so much usage of Synnove. Then let's move here, and here is the hero that I used on my free-to-play account like around 7 or 8 months ago when I played my free-to-play on daily basis, and it's Soli. So because on my free-to-play I didn't have Ben Austin, and I was using Soli because of his first active skill. So deals 2 stages of defense damage to a single enemy with a 60% chance to reduce their defense by 30% for 2 turns. Afterwards, allies granted ally protection by Soli pursue and attack this target 1 time. And when we go to his passive, Soli grants ally protection to the ally with highest attack at the beginning of each wave, reducing their damage taken by 16% before sharing 50% of their damage taken. Soli grants ally protection to the ally with the highest attack at the beginning of his turn if no allies have ally protection granted by him. So he will, let's say you have Lucifer, and then Soli will grant ally protection to Lucifer, then you're gonna use first active skill and he will reduce their defense by 30%, and then Lucifer gonna do his basic attacks. So yeah, I mean obviously if you get to exclusive level 2 he will put like defense down big version, but again it's just a niche usage, and then his ultimate inflicts chain on a single enemy. Afterwards there is 50% chance when booked, 70% chance to inflict provoke on all enemies for 1 turn. Meanwhile, Soli enters commander status during which he is immune to control effects, so you can see him during his ultimate, and deals 300 defense damage to targets with chain after taking direct damage 5 times or before the start of his own turn. There is also a 50% chance to inflict stun for 1 turn. Soli loses commander status when he is actively dealing damage, or rather deals damage. So, and then exclusive level 1, he gains consolidation. That helps him a little bit. Then exclusive level 2, he gets like defense down big version, and then exclusive level 3, Soli deducts his HP by 15% of max HP, grants the ally immunity to this death, and restores their HP by 35% of max HP when the ally protected by him takes fatal damage. This skill cannot be triggered when Soli's HP is below 25% and can only trigger once by the protected ally every turn. So yeah, he's not that great, but like if you don't have Ben Austin or Vrister and you need like someone to pursue attack, you can always go with Soli. I mean, obviously if you're late game you don't need him, even mid game you don't need him, but for early game I was using this on my free to play because I didn't have Ben Austin, and it was good, I cannot lie. It wasn't something great, but it was good, it was decent. Then let's go to Sunset Sages. Here we have Nasakhma. So Nasakhma, many of you know him as buff removal, or rather he's stealing all buffs and resets their duration. So there was a time in PvP when people started using him for, I mean not many people, just a few, because he gets more annoying with his exclusives, but like he got Horrify on first active skill, then he is putting HP connection on the enemy with highest attack, yeah, and then he steals all buffs, and then exclusive level 1 resets the cooldown of ultimate when an enemy target who does not have a buff or is under Horrify status dies. So like if you steal the buffs and let's say you kill someone that doesn't have buffs or is under Horrify status, this skill will be refreshed and you will be able to use it next turn. Or rather you can use it even with Ulcaster when Ulcaster uses his Horrify and Freeze, and you steal buffs and they will be under Horrify because of Ulcaster. Then if you kill them, this skill will be refreshed. So yeah. Then exclusive level 2, damage the enemy bound to HP connection receives 50 more damage. It's okay, nothing special. And then exclusive level 3, after ultimate successfully steals buffs, there is a 60% chance to inflict Horrify for 1 turn on the target whose buff have been stolen. So, but if you're gonna use him, you will use him with exclusive 1. I mean exclusive 0, you don't really need any exclusives. And if you don't have Gilliman, you can use him in Blue Tower of Mark to remove buffs, to remove shield from that boss. So yeah, now Foresters, I have been thinking, and the most underrated hero is Gru. Gru is Gru. He's just a tank. He's good old tank. So his basic just deals the damage of Gru max HP and cannot land a crit, yada yada yada, and he restores self HP by 8% of max HP. Then his first active skill restores all allies HP by 12% when upgraded at 15%, so it's a decent heal, you know. Then his passive grants ally protection to all enemies for 1 turn at the beginning of each wave, and at the beginning of Gru's turn, Gru has 20% of damage taken by allies and takes 3% less damage for every ally he protects. So, you know, he's a decent tank. Like, obviously you won't use him in end game and early and mid game, but for early game he is solid. Like, thanks to him I cleared the Tower of Mark, red mark, like the stage 30, because he was there to like support me. the end he died, obviously, but I managed to complete it. So thanks to Gru, I finished Tower of Mark. And then his ultimate increases Gru's max HP cap by 25% for 2 runs, and then he deals deals damage by when upgraded is 58 by 58 of Gru's max HP to a single enemy, and this attack cannot land a crit. But when he has HP up, then this can deal some pretty big damage. And then let's go over his exclusives. So when he heals, he will additionally grants 1 layer of heal to all allies for 2 turns. And his passive, if there is 50% chance to restore self HP by 10% of max HP if Grus is lower than 90% when taking direct damage. Skill cooldown 1 turn, so he got a little bit of sustain. And then, so let's call him Panda for poor peoples, because he will be increasing max HP cap to 50% and additionally increases all allies max HP cap by 25%. So, you know, if you don't have Panda, and you can still use Gru, but yeah, he will not be that great. But he's a solid tank for early and mid game. Then we go to Doom Legion, and Doom Legion is Eliat. I'm not seeing much of her, like ever, even though she got reworked and she's a better hero now, better support hero. So basic, she's dealing 2 stages of damage with effect down, which is nothing huge but can be helpful. And then her first active skill increases all allies max HP cap by 50% for 2 turns and inflicts block debuff of them. And when she is exclusive level 1, she will put shield by 30%. So this is huge. So 50% for legendary heroes on all allies, and then block debuff. So this skill on its own, it's just great. Then passive, she gets additional 36% damage reflect, which is nothing special. And here she deals damage and then provoke. So yeah, but you mostly want her for this skill. So this is all it matters. So all you need is E1 and you're good to go. So yeah. Next one, and well, it's time to give a BERNES little bit of love. He deserved it. Like, so to be honest, I have no idea what he does because I never really looked into his skills, but it's time to change it. So let's see what BERNES is doing. So he's dealing 210 attack damage to a single enemy. This attack has an additional 8% leech, which is decent. Attack damage with some leech, attack and leech, 210 and some additional leech is decent. Then first active skill grants self counter attack for 3 turns, meanwhile increases self attack by 40%. So this is what so let's say you're on a new server and you pull BERNES and you just maxima, so you make him A5, and then he opens in PvP with this skill, and like there is no way to kill him, because when I started my free to play like 2 months ago, that I stopped playing because I was on business trip, I got solid by BERNES, and I was like shocked, like I didn't know that he can do that. So yeah. Then then his passive, when BERNES inflicts a killer, restores self HP by 35% of his max HP, yada yada yada, and gains fighting spirit that increases his damage dealt for 1 turn. Auto acts for 1 turn immediately, and fighting spirit increases damage dealt by 24%. So that's what I'm talking about. So on new server, people cannot like one shot, and he will just kill, and if he kills the target, he will heal himself, and then there is no way to really kill him. So he is a great hero for early game. Then his ultimate increases self crit damage by 60% for 2 turns. After deals 2 stages of 210 attack damage to a single enemy, and additionally inflicts 105 attack damage. This extra damage ignores the defense. So again, it's solid ultimate. Then his exclusives. So when he puts counter attack and attack up, BERNES acts for 1 turn immediately after casting Power of Stars. While BERNES has counter attack, buffs cannot be removed. So yeah, so you can even once he's E1, you can't even remove buffs if he has counter attack up. So it's really annoying, especially on new server. So BERNES is perfect hero for early game. Then Eclipse level 2, BERNES gains basic attack and skill damage bonus based on the attribute buff layers each time he granted fighting spirit, so it's increased his attack. When he has 5 layers of attribute buffs, the bonus reaches maximum. He can gain a 15 bonus at least and 30% bonus at most. So again, it's pretty decent damage boosts, and he can deal massive damage. And then increase level 3, increase BERNES' basic attack damage by 15% if the HP reduces by Star Blink is no more than 20% of target's max HP. BERNES gains 1 layer of Starlight for 1 turn. When he has 1, 2, 3 layers of Starlight, Star Blink deals more damage, so yada yada yada. So BERNES is all about damage, so he can dish out some amazing damage. So yeah, for early game he's great. Then once you reach mid game and end game, you don't really gonna use him, so you know. Forgotten. So here I was thinking a little bit who should I put here, but I think it's old troll Gramndi. Cause why? He's decent tank. He got speed down and freeze on ultimate. Then he's immune to speed down and freeze. When Gramndi takes direct damage, there is a 40% chance. When booked, 70% chance to reduce attacker speed by 20%. If attack is already under speed down status, there is 40 or rather 70% chance to inflict freeze on them. So he's great tank. Then his first active skill, it's guaranteed to inflict a freeze and reducing their turn meter by 50%. Then his exclusives, level 1, Gramndi is immune to death and restores self HP by 40% of max HP when he is taking fatal damage, and it's 5 turns cooldown. This can be useful in like Faction Abyss, so this one is good. And then level 2, Gramndi reduces the turn meters of enemies target under speed down or freeze status by 10% at the start of his turn. So it too is also great, nothing special, but it's great. So more of turn meter manipulation, which is always great. And then level 3, Gramndi deals 40% more damage and takes 20% less damage from targets under speed down or freeze status. I mean, you will not really build him to deal damage, you will just build him tanky, effect hit, HP and defense, so not really like crit damage and crit rate, but he's a solid PvE hero for early game that can put some debuffs. So yeah. Here we have Turf. So when I started playing, I pulled Turf. I was like, oh, what the hell am I supposed to do with this hero? And then on next PT I pulled him yet again. And then I was alright, time to test this guy out, and he was able to solid Tower of Mark for me up to level, or rather stage 20. So he's great for Bull Mark Tower. So this is the only usage I have for him, and obviously in like Faction Abyss, but you know, he's not that great there because he's single target. But yeah, so let's go over his kit. So basic attack deals 2 stages of 100 attack damage to a single enemy with a 30% chance to inflict a layer of poison, so 40% when booked. And now grants self shield by 25% of turns max HP and counter attack for 2 turns. So this is great. And then it will be 40% when booked. And then exclusive level 1 is huge. That increases the shield effect by 60%. So that's just amazing. Because he will be so tanky that you will not be able to kill him and he will be counter-attacking back. Then his passive increases the direct damage dealt by turf by 30% to any target under poison status. Meanwhile, there is 30% chance to inflict a layer of poison on the attacker for 2 turns when he takes direct damage. So also, when he's taking direct damage, he can also put poison on the target, and then he deals more direct damage by turf if they're under poison. So he can deal pretty big damage. And then his ultimate inflicts a deep poisoning 1 on the target for 2 turns outwards, deals 3 stages of 160 attack damage to a single enemy with a 50% chance to inflict 1 layer of poison for 2 turns. So he's great for early game, he's great for early game. In campaign, not really, maybe against the boss like on 12-10, because he's single target damage, so you know, that's a little bit problematic, because we all love AoE. But it is what it is. Again, if you need him for Tower of Mark, he will be really useful there. And exclusive level 1 is all you need if you can get it for that 60% of shield. So yeah, and then exclusive level 2 turf against an additional 30% leech when attacking targets under poison. And then level 3 deadly poisons increases damage of each layer of poison by 10% when attacking targets under poison status up to 100%, so it's also a big damage boost. And if you get him, and if you the way I built him is I was using this set on him. So I was using, where is it? So I was using attack percent and crit rate, and like I had like effect hit and mastery as substats, so he can deal some decent damage. He can crit, and yeah, so that's how I built him, with effect hit, substats and mastery. And then I was using for slay set, or rather wild set, my bad. Then Wizard's Eye. Well, here, like, I was thinking who should I put, and like I decided to put Slivelle. So she is a decent hero that doesn't need crit rate, so you just build her full crit damage and attack. So her basic attack is deals 2 stages of attack of 100% attack damage to a single enemy. The first stage reduces the target's defense by 30%, and then crit is guaranteed for the second stage, so you just build her with attack and crit damage. Then grants self-control immunity for 2 turns, increases all allies attack by 40%, but you need E1 because she extends the duration of control immunity to 3 turns, and then she acts immediately after using this skill. And then her ultimate deals 680% attack damage to a single enemy, and crit is guaranteed for this attack, so you don't need any crit rate at all. And then her passive Slivelle grants herself 1 layer of Sniper Master after she kills the target, which increases her damage dealt by 10% up to 4 layers. When there is only 1 enemy surviving, Slivelle deals 100 more damage to this enemy. So for a single target boss in Tower of Mark, she's great. Or, I mean, yeah, even though there will be like two more ads on the left side and right side of the boss, but still she will be dealing some insane damage. And then exclusive level 2, Slivelle also gains 1 layer of Sniper Master when an ally inflicts a kill. And then level 3 ignores the mortal damage maintained the enemy killed, but it cannot be revived. So you can even one shot that adds on the side of the boss when she's E3. So yeah, like you need E1. If you don't have her E1, don't even bother using her because she's not that great. But once she's E1, she gets much better. And then last faction, Hidden Wave. And here I really didn't know who to put, but I decided to go with Seth. So for PvE and both PvP, he's so great because he needs E3 to be honest. So his basic attack is dealt 18% damage of Seth's max HP to single enemy with a 10% chance to inflict suffocated for 1 turn, and the chance is increased by 15% if the target is under wet or cold status. So it's a decent basic attack. And then first active skill grants all allies shield by 25% of that max HP for 2 turns and increases all allies tenacity by 60% for 2 turns. So that is great. Then his passive skill, so there is 50% chance to inflict wet 2 on the attacker for 2 turns when under basic attack, and 50% chance to inflict cold when it's under skill attack. So that's on its own is great. And then if you pair him with Synnove, they will activate Brother Togetherness. When both of them are deployed, Synnove will get extra defense and Seth will have more max HP cap, and when either of them dies, the other one will revive that hero that died. So if Synnove dies, Seth will revive him, and the other way around of course, and that's it. But you only need this first part of his passive. And then Ultimate restores all allies HP by 22% of Seth's max HP, grants Ripple 2 to all allies for 2 turns, and then exclusive level 1 additionally increases all allies attack by 40%, so you will have Ripple 2 and attack up 2, and then let's say you have Vrister that shares his attack with let's say Lucifer, and then when Vrister uses his basic, Lucifer will one-shot everyone with his basic attack, so that is really so strong. Then, level 2, Seth gains additional 12% max HP cap, restores self 8% max HP when taking basic damage or skill damage dealt by enemies with wet or cold, and reduces the self skill cooldown randomly by 1 turn when Seth restores HP this way each time. So, like, he's a great tank because he will reducing those two skills. So you will be able to use this one, then again maybe this one. It depends how much effect hit you have on him, so the more effect hit the better, but you will be able to cycle those skills pretty much every other turn. And then the biggest exclusive is level 3. Seth additionally casts Deep Sea Power 1 time at the beginning of each wave, increases the shield value of Deep Sea Power to 45% of Seth's max HP until the wave transitions. So then once he's E3, he becomes so much better in PvE content and PvP as well. So because he will be shielding and put that tenacity up, then he will be healing everyone. So yeah, he's such a great hero, and I don't see people use him that much. So yeah guys, that was it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it.